I got upset about something last night. Certainly wasn't the walk-off win. And maybe, you know what? Maybe I just got triggered by something because I'm watching Jose Ramirez this year, and a lot of people have been saying for a long time this year, he's pressing. He's pressing. Jose's up there. He's swinging at everything. He's pressing. I'm going, well, he's still a tremendous hitter. He's still a bona fide all-star. If that's pressing, I mean, good God, I can't imagine what he'd be doing if he was relaxed up there at the plate. And I see him go up there, and they do a bunt because, I mean, they're looking for any way to get themselves a win. I mean, they will steal someone's dog to get themselves a win right now. They do not care. And so there's the bunt. Then Jose's able to bring him home with the go-ahead with the walk-off single. And I'm watching him, and I'm going, my God, is there anybody who means more to Cleveland in the world of sports? And sports is a big damn deal here. Is there anybody in the world of sports right now who means more to Cleveland than Jose Ramirez? Like, he is the king of the city. I said it's almost indescribable. And let me explain this. The amount of pressure on him compared to the other two teams in town and their leader, it's astronomical. It's astronomical. Think about all this. Is that if the Cavs and the Browns didn't have a salary cap, they'd spend it in oblivion. Boy, we've had this conversation with the Guardians many times, Jason. Okay. The other games, it's get the ball to Donovan, clear the way.
Yeah.
Even when LeBron was here, get the ball to LeBron, clear the way, or as we always talked about, he's going to find the best play for the possession, and maybe he's going to pass out to somebody. He controls everything on the floor. Really, at times we saw LeBron control 9 other guys. With Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, you control the entire offense, and at times because your offense is so good, you control defenses. With the Browns, it's Myles Garrett. Well, we always know Myles can only do so much. With Jose, there's real expectations with that team, and he can only get so many opportunities. He's at third base. You got to hit the ball to him. He can only come up 4 or 5 times a game. And so what he does in being able to keep them at 40 and 38, my God, it just cannot be, it can't be overstated of what he means to the Guardians and what he means to professional sports in this city. I know that's a crazy thing to say. It's a very emotional thing to say on June 26th.
Yeah.
But man alive, what he means, Lord.
I don't know if I agree with the pressure part of it, but what he means and where he ranks in fan favorite.
Why don't you agree?
Because he lives in anonymity. That's part of the reason he wanted to stay here.
I don't think he lives in anonymity here. I think he walks on water here.
Well, he does in part because where I was going with it, because of how much less he took.
Yeah.
Like that contract that he signed at the time was so wildly undervalued compared to what he could have gotten. So if you look at the three of them, I mean, Donovan, Donovan hadn't done anything wrong. Like he re-signed. I think that really sort of sealed his fate here when he signed his second contract, when he signed to extend here.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fine. Obviously, people are upset with the second round exits. Miles, I think Miles cost himself a little bit on the PR front with the way that this last offseason played out and all the things that he said, which, by the way, he was only telling the truth. There ain't nothing he said that wasn't true. But then taking the contract that he did, obviously, he's not taking a discount. So if you're looking at people who truly, truly want to be here, the deal that Jose signed puts pen to paper on how much he likes it here and how much he wants to be here. So that part I agree with. And Donovan also, he didn't take less, but taking the contract and re-signing here. But I don't know that I agree with he's got more pressure on him than everybody else. I think Donovan is feeling an enormous weight of pressure.
That's interesting. I guess it would be like who's under more pressure then, because I think that Guardians fans, I think there's a tremendous amount of frustration within the fan. It's the same fan base, but I think Guardians fans right now are feeling a tremendous amount of frustration that you're 40 and 38. I mean, I talk to you all the time, and I've been saying for a while, it's like my goals have changed in so many ways where it's like, let me find the starting rotation. Let me find these 4 young guys who are 26 and younger. And I got a lot of people going, man, you're shooting way too low. You give this team so many passes over here. They just went to an ALCS. And I think about how do they get back to that ALCS right now? How do they get back to the postseason? And it's like, all right, you got Stephen Kwan who can set the table most of the time. And then there's nobody else that you can really count on other than him. So he's the only guy that you can really count on and to keep their head above water until everybody else figures it out. I don't think that Donovan is frustrated, but I don't think a lot of people blame Donovan. I don't think they blame either of them for these situations, but I think Donovan is frustrated, but I don't think that he has to deal with carrying everything for a franchise and having fewer opportunities to do so, like Jose Ramirez does.
Jose knew what he was signing up for.
Donovan knew what he was signing up for.
But that's why I didn't understand a few weeks ago this trade Jose to give him a better chance to win or whatever it was being.
It's internet fodder.
That was insane to me.
It's internet fodder by frustrated fans, but it's internet fodder.
Jose knew where he was doing when he signed the contract. Of course. He likes being in the anonymity that he is. Like everyone still calls him like the unknown superstar in baseball, across baseball. And the people within baseball say all the time how incredible he is and how terrific he is. But is he talked about in the same vein as Aaron Judge? No. But he's an MVP candidate every single year.
Well, I mean, you're thinking big picture. I'm thinking to the city of Cleveland hasn't, the team hasn't won a championship in 77 years.
Yeah.
And as of right now, the things that they haven't put around them, I think it's going to be 78 and maybe 79. But I think there is some light for hope.
Here's the difference, I think, between Jose and Donovan. If his end-all be-all obsession was winning a championship, would he have signed that contract?
Jose?
Yeah.
No.
Donovan's end-all be-all obsession right now is winning a championship, period. He is consumed by it. And that isn't necessarily a Cleveland thing. That's a personal thing to Donovan. And I think Donovan believes Cleveland gave him the best opportunity to do that. And he does love it here. I'm not saying he doesn't. He does truly enjoy being here. He'll probably wind up back in the Muni lot again for a tailgate this fall. He had a great time when he was there last year. And I asked him, will you do that again? He said, yeah, probably. Like,
is he going to do the bowling thing with the kegs again?
With the
Browns bunch?
Who knows what he'll do?
Okay.
But yeah, I think you'll probably see him pop up again in the Muni if the schedule aligns and if he's in town. Before they get rolling, if there's a home game.
I don't doubt he likes his time here. I think he does enjoy the city.
But Donovan, I think, is driven to win at a level that few other athletes are at right now. And I don't know that, and I'm not saying Jose doesn't want to win. I don't think he is consumed by it the way that Donovan is, or he would not have re-signed here.
There was another thing that I got last night from one listener, and he mentioned how, because I said how Jose's, just you can't say enough great things about him, and I got he's a really great regular season player.
Yeah,
and I said, man, of all the things that I've said on the air, one of the things that I've said a lot of things on the air and come back and like, I regret that one, but of all the crazy things I've said on the air. The conversation we had, I think it was last year or the year before, about his postseason and like the Hall of Fame stuff and things like that, and why the immense amount of pressure. I think that, again, when I look at the pressure of them getting to the postseason, you're consistently playing with pups who don't really like. Donovan's playing with guys that need to raise themselves to his level. It's just that simple. Like the Evan Mobley thing, we're going to get more into that in 645 because I think I agree with you, and I kind of want to just clear the court and let you go down the lane on one certain thing. I hope that you're willing to back it up because you were tough talking Jason Lloyd at 657 or 557. So I want to see that. But when it comes like to him in the postseason, and it's like, all right, he popped it up again. And it's like, well, he's in this moment where, again, he's the only guy that you can count on because the other guys during the regular season, you can get hot. You have time. There's this little amount of time in the postseason. And if you have a bad week, I think for more inexperienced guys, more inexperienced players, there's a higher chance for you to wilt. So when you have these young guys who are perpetually around you, like how many years has it been since Francisco Lindor's been here? 4 now? 3, 4? Okay, so you've made the postseason a couple times.
Actually, longer than that.
How many of these guys could you really count on last year until you got to Jose Ramirez? So by the time you get to Jose Ramirez in the lineup and it's 1-0 and we got 2 on and 2 out, and now comes Jose, like all your hopes and dreams are in that. And when you put him, and this was a you had to make it because you were playing him a dollars to dollars lineup here where it's Stephen Kwan, then it was Andres Jimenez or Ahmed Rosario a couple years ago, Jose, and then you go to the Yankees where it's Giancarlo Stanton, Soto, Judge, like right down the line, 1 through 6, and you're going, how you don't get a break.
Yeah.
And this is the ALCS, and there's nothing else you can do. And as much as you could say, like, hey, you got to go to your piggy bank, you can't compete with that. You can't compete with it. Even the Yankees didn't even want to compete with $765 million at the end of that season last year for Juan Soto. Like, so to me, if you want to win, like I think that, yeah, Donovan Mitchell, I think, is as obsessed with winning a championship as anybody in professional sports. But if you want to win, there's only so much you can do for Jose. And I think at times it's got to be like very frustrating for him privately. But he's the unequivocal leader of that organization. Unchallenged to me.
He'll have almost, if not every major record by the time he retires. There'll be a statue of him next to the
there better be
next to the other one, and he'll be a legend here forever.